Why can no single company build an advanced chip alone? And where do profit and risk accumulate along the chain? What looks like a single chip is really the end product of an industrial relay. The chain does not deliver a black square. It delivers a function that can be mass produced: computing, storage, sensing, or controlling current. To put those functions into silicon, customer needs become specifications, then circuits. The design then passes through wafer fabrication, packaging, and testing, and finally reaches phones, cars, and servers. So do not begin with a list of company names. Follow three flows instead: design information moving downstream, wafers and chips moving toward products, and orders, cash and risk moving back through the chain. A chip passes through many companies, but the relay does not begin in a factory. It begins with a desired function. The design stage must translate that function into geometry the next stage can actually manufacture. Designers first break speed, power, cost, and the target application into blocks such as compute, memory, interfaces, and power management. They are not drawing the chip's appearance. They are defining how it must work. Reusable IP blocks act like proven building pieces. EDA software handles placement, routing, and verification, coordinating billions of connections while trying to catch errors before fabrication. Once the layout is frozen, it goes to the foundry and becomes a set of photomasks. A fabless company avoids the cost of owning a factory, but it still makes a major bet. The first tape out must be close to correct. The design company still hands over information, not a working device. The foundry must reproduce those patterns on silicon, layer after layer, with extraordinary alignment accuracy. Only then can information become hardware. A round wafer carries many copies of the same chip. Thin film deposition adds material, photolithography projects a mask pattern into photoresist, and etching removes material to leave the required structure. Deposition, lithography, etching, and cleaning repeat many times. Building transistors and metal interconnects layer by layer. A lithography scanner is an extraordinarily precise projection system, but it is still only one critical station inside the fab. Behind the fab sits another supply chain: production equipment, silicon wafers, photoresist, electronic gases, and inspection systems. A tiny process drift can turn a working die into a defective one. A finished wafer does not guarantee revenue. The same manufacturing cost may produce many saleable dies or only a few. The share that works is yield, and yield decides how much product the investment can recover. By the time a wafer is complete, most of its manufacturing cost has already been incurred. Fewer good dies mean the same wafer cost is divided among fewer products, so cost per chip rises. When a new process enters volume production, engineers read the defect map and tune equipment and process parameters. As yield improves, the same number of wafers produces more saleable dies. Fabs also carry enormous fixed costs. At high utilization, depreciation is spread across more wafers. When orders fall, the equipment keeps depreciating. So, profit can decline much faster than revenue. Screening out good dies does not finish the relay. The dies must be separated, connected, cooled, and verified again before fragile silicon becomes a system a real device can use. The wafer is probe tested before it is cut into individual bare dies. Failed dies are removed, so only good dies enter packaging and expensive materials are not wasted on defective silicon. The package connects each bare die to a substrate, creates power and data paths, and carries heat away. Advanced packaging can also combine compute chiplets, memory, and interconnect inside one system. Final test checks speed, power, temperature, and reliability. Packaging is no longer just protection. It determines whether the silicon can deliver stable performance to the whole device. Now the physical chain is complete. We can translate it into business economics. Companies at different stages control different resources, carry different capital burdens, and absorb different parts of the cycle. Fabless companies shape products and read demand. Foundries control process technology, yield, and capacity. Packaging and test firms manage back-end delivery, while an IDM keeps several of these capabilities inside one company. Orders move upstream from end demand, while chips and equipment move downstream. Cash arrives at different times, and a forecasting error can amplify through inventory, utilization, and capital spending. When you analyze a semiconductor company, ask 5 questions. Where does it sit? Who sets demand? Who carries inventory? How will yield and utilization change? And will the next capital spending cycle help or hurt it? The next time you study a semiconductor company, ask where it sits in the chain and whether it controls demand, yield, capacity, or inventory. Follow for more clear finance lessons.